So in this lesson, we're going to talk about the process for building a column chart. Now, a column chart is used in Excel to compare categories of items or to compare the same item over time. So really we use column charts to help us with comparing things. So in this case, we're going to build a column chart that compares Jimmer Fredette's scoring across each of the 4 years of his collegiate career. So we're interested in the total points here and how they compare over time. Okay, so to insert this column chart, we go to the Insert tab, and we're going to insert a column chart. That's the ones with the bars that are vertical. Notice that there are a number of different options that essentially give me different ways to display that chart. So I'm going to add a clustered column chart here. Notice that Excel does a pretty good job of guessing what I might want the chart to look like. Unfortunately, I didn't want the chart based on the number of games played. I want it based on the total number of points across the 4 years of his career. So I'm going to come back here to Select Data, and I'm going to remove the data that was automatically placed in the chart so that I can add the data that I want. So the series name is the name that would appear on the chart legend for the data that I'm going to add to the chart. In this case, I'm interested in total points. I could just type in total points, but it's always a good idea in Excel to reference a cell when possible that contains the information that I want to use. So I'm going to reference cell B24 since that has the text total points in it. Okay, so the values for the chart are going to be the cells that contain the 4 years scoring totals that Jimmer was in college. So those are cells C24 through F24. And notice I've just added a series to my chart. That series will be the set of values that I'm going to compare against each other. And I'm not quite done yet here selecting my data because I don't want the years to just be labeled 1, 2, 3, 4. Rather, I want the years to be 2007, 2008, 2008, 2009. So there's some meaning to the column that's displayed. So I'm going to edit the category labels here, or the horizontal axis labels, and rather than just having a numeric counting 1 through 4, we're going to reference cells C3 through F3 that contain the information for the year in which the scoring occurred. Click OK and OK. Notice that my chart's now been updated with a set of values for the points in each of the years that Jimmer played at BYU. Now I'm not done. I want to add a few things to the chart. The first thing I want to do is I want to change the chart title. Notice that the title is populated for me, but I can change that by clicking on the title to select it and then clicking again. Of course, I need to be a little careful not to double click too fast because it won't let me edit if I double click too fast. But I'm going to change the chart title here to something like Jimmer Fredette Career Scoring. I also want to add some elements to the chart. For example, it would be nice to know what these individual year totals are. I can eyeball it and I can get some idea, for example, that his third year was somewhere between 600 and 800 points, a little closer to 800. And when I move my cursor onto that chart, I can see onto that particular bar, I can see that the value is 751. But it'd be nice to display that value so I don't have to manipulate my cursor over the chart to see what the value is. So I'm going to click on the Add Chart Element icon here. Come down to Data Labels, and notice that as I move my cursor over data labels, they appear on the screen. I can also click on this triangle here to give me a little bit more control over where they are. I want to go ahead and put the labels here on the outside end so they're fairly easy to see. And notice that that's done a nice job now of depicting each of Jimmer Fredette's years of scoring at BYU, because now I have the data labels and I've got the bars to compare over time. And you notice that as far as the comparison goes, his scoring went up each of the 4 years, so we definitely have an upward trend in his scoring at BYU. So again, I use column charts to compare categories of items or to compare the same item over time. In this case, I've used column chart to compare Jimmer Fredette's scoring over time at BYU.